is extravagant. Friendship, it is intimate. Feel I'm moving to the rhythm of your grace. Your fragrance is intoxicating. Secret place, your love is extravagant. Spread wide in the arms of Christ is a love that covers sin. No greater love have I ever known. You consider me a friend, capture my heart again. Your love is extravagant. Your friendship, it is intimate. I feel I'm moving to the rhythm of your grace. Your fragrance is intoxicating. Secret place, your love is extravagant. Spread wide in the arms of Christ is a love that covers sin. No greater love have I ever known. You consider me a friend. Spread wide in the arms of Christ is love that covers sin. No greater love have I ever known. Consider me a friend, capture my heart again. Your love is extravagant. Standing here in your presence, in a grace so relentless, I am won by perfect love, wrapped within the arms of heaven, in a peace lasts forever, sinking deep in mercy. See, I'm wide awake, drawing closer by grace. All my heart is yours. All fear remove. I breathe you in, lean into your love. Oh, your love. When I'm lost, you pursue me. Lift my head, see your glory, Lord of all. So beautiful. Here in you, I find shelter. captivated by the splendor of your face. Secret place, I'm wide awake, drawing closer by grace. All my heart is yours. All fear removed, I breathe you in, lean into your love. Oh, your love. Your love so deep is washing over me. Your face is all I see. You are my everything. Jesus Christ, you are my one desire. Lord, hear my only cry, to know you all my life. Love so deep is washing over me. Your face is all I see. You are my everything. Jesus Christ, you are my one desire. Lord, hear my only cry, to know you all my life. I'm wide awake, drawing closer by grace. All my heart is yours. All fear remove, breathe you in, lean into your love. Oh, your love. Forsaken, I was shattered by the fall, broken and forgotten, feeling lost and all alone. Summoned by the King to the Master's call, lifted by the Savior, cradled in His arms. I was carried to the table, seated where I don't belong. I was carried to the table, swept away by His love. And I don't see my brokenness anymore when I'm seated at the table of the Lord. I'm carried to the table, the table of the Lord. Fighting thoughts of fear, wondering why He called my name. Am I good enough to share this cup? This world has left me lame. And even in my weakness, Savior called my name. And in His holy presence, I'm healed and unashamed. I was carried to the table, seated where I don't belong. I was carried to the table, swept away by His love. And I don't see my brokenness anymore when I'm seated at the table of the Lord. I'm carried to the table, the table of the Lord.
Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful music, Tony. That was awesome. Thank you. So, thank you all so much for coming out here and joining me on a school night. I know it's rough to come out on a Tuesday. Um, and I do want to make sure to tell everybody tonight that during my performance or any other performance, if for any reason you feel like you need to get up and go outside or take a break, that's totally okay, and none of us will be offended because we are going to talk about some kind of heavy, deep material tonight, and it can be a bit much sometimes. So if you need to take a break for a minute, it is totally understandable. I won't mind, and neither will any of my partners. And also, I want to thank all of my partners real quick for being here. Everyone here participating tonight has been an incredible inspiration to me, and I am really tickled that you all agreed to do this with me. And so definitely, if you get a chance, check out some of their artwork and all of that good stuff. I'm also super grateful to the Vogue for giving me this opportunity tonight. You guys may not know this, but not only is this my 1-year book anniversary release, it is my 3rd year anniversary as Vogue house photographer. So I am, thank you. So I am super grateful to the Vogue for giving all of us this opportunity. And I real quick want to thank Jason King for giving me a chance 3 years ago this month when he needed somebody to shoot The Little Merman. And that was a really great show. And I want to thank Scott and Andrew and Eric for keeping me on and bringing me back after COVID. The music industry is very cutthroat and often a difficult place for a female to thrive and to feel safe, just like a lot of places in the world today. And Eric and Andrew and Scott have not only made me feel valued here, but have somehow magically created a space where I feel respected by every single employee and artist and vendor that walks through these doors. Of course, they can't always control all of the drunk people that come in here, but they have definitely gone an extra mile to make this venue great. And last, but certainly not least, a super huge bunches of thank yous to Brian and Jake and John Martin back there running the lights and video and sound. Yeah, those guys are great. Those guys put up with so much crap from me that you don't even know about. They put up with me when I'm too happy and energetic. They put up with me when I'm cranky and I hate everybody. And they let me hide next to them when I'm anxious. They cheer me up when I'm sad. So those guys not only make every show here look and sound better, but they have on many occasions made my life look and sound better. So let's give another big hand to John Martin and Brian and Jake back there. So yeah, let's see. I think I'm screwing up already. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get the rest of this going. I want to bring Mike Wiggin up here from CityLife to kind of take over for me, and he's going to host for us tonight. And I don't know, get this show going. So here's Mike.
Thanks. All right. Thank you, Melodie, for letting us all be a part of this night for you. I know this is going to be special for all of us. So thank you all for coming out and supporting her. She's going to be very real and raw with you tonight. I get the privilege of being her friend, but also her pastor. We have a church on the south side called CityLife, and she just said, say a little bit about the church. We just try to take a holistic approach to you as a human being. One of our biggest mottos is we want to be very invested in community, unity, and care. We feel like a lot of us that are part of this church grew up in churches that we didn't think were very healthy and didn't want to continue that. And so we just have been trying a different approach with the gospel of more of a holistic approach. If you're looking for something, we'd love to see it. If not, great to meet you all tonight. But without further ado, whenever we bring somebody to the stage, let's give it up for them pretty hot and heavy, okay? So our first one up is artist Travis Owens. Let's give it up for him as he comes to the stage.
Hello, everybody. I'm Travis Owens. I have the booth over here to your left. I'd like to thank Melodie for putting this event together, and it's a pretty amazing thing that she's her path that she's been putting together for herself with photography, and knowing that she's worked in a factory in a small town for a long time and was brave enough to move on and do what she's really passionate about. And I'm kind of from the similar background. We grew up in the same town together, or same area anyway. We've probably known each other for about 30 or so years. And as we both know, there's not too much opportunity for dreaming or, expanding outside of what is typically in the Seymour, North Vernon area of, factory work and, there's not much room for like artisanship and musicianship and poetry and things like that to make a living off of, especially. But, that with that being said, it's, I feel like a lot of people that we've grown up with and people we've dealt with most of our lives it leads to only certain options in their lives, and they choose certain ways of living or whatever, and sometimes it could be down a depressing, sad, state of mind, and there's not much growth, especially with, your inner self or whatever. So, but excuse me, sorry about that. That being said, like we grew up and you get bored and you try to experiment, then you experiment with drugs and alcohol and whatever else, and it ended up destroying a lot of people's lives that we grew up with, people that we grew up with, and it definitely catapulted me in a different frame of mindset myself from just doing tons of LSD in like high school. I'd probably going to high school half my senior year was tripping. So, but out of that though, like there's a lot of lessons learned in those experiences of like what it made me open myself up to seeing possibilities and understanding of life that I didn't necessarily see before. I'd see things more vibrantly, and I would see patterns and things I didn't necessarily recognize before, which kind of somewhat goes in that direction of my artwork, where I wanted to see more color and more life. And it led me down a path of a better future, or not future, but of just more self-fulfillment and gratification and love of self, and just growth in general. And I'm thankful for that. If I didn't have those experiences, and like with Melodie, some of the chaos that we kind of went through and the craziness of the people that we knew that did not see life that way at all. And it's amazing to me that 30 years now, after experiencing some of the things that we went through with some of the people that we knew and grew up with, and a lot of the people were dead, like I said, or with jail or whatever, and here we are, and this is happening right now, tonight. So this is a very, very big moment for both of us. So, congratulations. Thank you very much for inviting me tonight, Melodie. And by the way, if you're interested in my work, you can always come by anytime throughout the night, but you can also look me up on Instagram or Facebook, Travis Owens Paintings. That's it. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for sharing that, Travis. One of the reasons why Melody and I hit it off when we first met is that was my story as well. I grew up in a home that was somewhat sheltered, and so I just wanted to experience life and freedom, and I got into all the same drugs that you've heard about. And fortunately, I'm standing here as a different type of artist tonight, more of a communication artist, and so I'm just excited to be able to be here with the same story as many of you. Travis, thank you so much for sharing that. We are now going to bring to the stage a lady named Sarah Boutwell. I think what she's doing is pretty incredible. She has an organization called the Beauty of Women, and it is to help women feel amazing in their skin, no matter what their skin looks like. So here's a little bit more about that, Sarah Boutwell. Well, let's welcome her to the stage.
This is amazing. I just want to thank Melodie for inviting all of us to be here tonight, first off, and reminding us that our stories are important and to not be afraid to share them with others, because that is how we are connecting. So, yeah, thank you guys for being here as well. And Travis, that was awesome. Thank you for being raw and vulnerable. You are very appreciated. I'm just going to dive right in and let you guys get to know me, real quick. My Uncle Danny went missing when I was 9 and has never been found. For the next 3 years, I was sexually abused by a close family member, and when that stopped at 12, psoriasis took over my body. I was a young lady covered in small red dots with patches of flaky red skin on my knees and my elbows. Right at a time when a young lady should start feeling pretty, I wanted to cover up. So for the next 20 years, I did that. I would wear long pants and long sleeves in the summertime, even if it meant I was uncomfortable. That is not a fun way to live. It took doing a photo shoot with a friend of mine at 32 years old when my psoriasis was covering my body like never before, from damn near head to toe, everywhere but my face, pretty much. It was the most uncomfortable time in my life. But when I was able to let him capture me at my most raw, it started healing itself. I remember as a kid feeling like what some call other, like just not human. I didn't feel like one of you. I didn't look like one of you. I didn't know anyone else that had psoriasis or had those spots on their skin, so I felt very, very alone. But when I was able to do that photo shoot and sit with myself lovingly and surrender, that shit just got better. I know I got weirdly vulnerable with y'all, real quick here tonight, but I do believe that's how we're changing the world. The more I talk about my traumas and struggles with others, the more I realize I'm not alone, and most importantly, I never was. We've all gone through some crazy shit, and we all have a story to tell, and we don't talk about them enough. I realized over the last year exactly how much healing it brings through doing bow sessions. After 17 years of doing photography, I finally found what I am most passionate about, and that is nature and women. Hey! And they're pretty similar if you ask me, I'm just saying. BOW stands for Beauty of Women, and it started as a book I'm writing about my life's journey, including poems I've written and featuring images of women who inspire me daily, most of them who are here in Indy, who are just badass, inspirational women. Once I started doing these intimate photo sessions where we sat down and talked about real shit before I ever picked up my camera, I realized this is the type of intentional photography I was meant to do. By the time the women and I are done having an honest conversation and really talking about our struggles and doing some healing exercises, the feeling of liberation in the room is so palpable that you can see it through the images. It just comes right through. I don't have to tell these women to pose. They feel completely free to be themselves, so they just do their thing and make magic. These women don't have to dress in anything except what makes them feel comfortable. This is not a boudoir session. I believe it's a whole other level. It's my honor to be the hype woman for business, the hype woman for women in my community. It's really turned into this divine sisterhood that I did not expect. Some are here tonight. I'm not going to talk about y'all because I'll cry, but thank you for coming and giving me your support. You are so special to me. But we now host events with all women vendors, musicians, facilitators, where we do intentional group healing exercises at the end of the night together to connect and have raw discussion. Because so many women are looking for a safe space with no judgment where they can talk openly, I started offering group bow sessions as well. These have brought so much magic because the women who vibe to these are just ready to dive in and get vulnerable from the second they get there. There are group hugs, tears, lots of laughter, and a whole hell of a lot of cheering each other on while we're doing the photo shoots. I personally have never been around anything like that, and I'm just really honored. It's an indescribable feeling when women you don't know well become sisters within a few hours of knowing each other. So, that being said, we're gonna do a real quick getting to know each other exercise. Since there's not very many people here, you guys shouldn't be shy at all. Nobody gives a fuck what your answers are, okay? Pardon my language, my dad was in the Navy. It's fine. So I just want you guys to, I'm going to ask a few questions, and I want you to raise your hand if you've been there in some capacity. No shame, no fear, no judgment. We're here to deeply connect, which I believe just from meeting some of the facilitators that I hadn't met before, like, I love you already, Ariane. So excited you're here. But that all being said, this is about growth and healing. So raise your hand for me if you have ever been told by someone that they hate you. You ever been told you're hated? Everybody. That's a shitty feeling, right? Like, damn. Like, ouch. Okay. So has anyone here been sexually molested? I just want you to know I see you and you are brave, and thank you for being honest about that. Y'all are superheroes. Have you ever felt completely alone? Everyone? Hell yeah. Have you ever spent the whole day in bed crying? Yeah, those are some of my favorite days, okay? Rest is revolutionary, y'all. It's important. Have you ever tried so hard and felt like you're getting nowhere? Have you ever been abused in any way, verbally, emotionally, physically? Almost everyone in this room, right? I want you guys to look around. You are never alone. You never have been alone. A divine sisterhood exists to give you support and love, and this is not just for the females, okay? I'm speaking to the men in the room, too, who aren't afraid of embracing their feminine side and getting weirdly vulnerable with us. Y'all have been through the ringer, too, and we're here to show you love and support as well. Not at our group bow sessions, because that's some, like, really intense female bonding shit, so y'all can't come to those. But our events are open to men and women. We believe that you should come and help these vendors and musicians and women-owned businesses feel empowered, and you deserve to take part in these healing exercises as well. So, to everyone here tonight, no matter what you've been through, you are worthy of taking time every damn day to bow to yourself. You are divine, you have been through hell, and you are still standing. That is superhero level shit. Don't downplay your power, show yourself some love, and give yourself a bow. While you're at it, turn to the people next to you here tonight and give them a bow too, in recognition of our divinity and deep respect for each other. Y'all better give each other a fucking bow. Okay. That being said, I'm going to leave you guys with this poem. And I've only ever read it out loud for my best friend Serena, so like if I cry, it's cool, it's fine. I am the frequency of sexy. I am the frequency of love. I come in like magic, change your world, and am gone with the wind before you ever knew what hit you. My free spirit travels with the night, seeking what cannot be found by day. My mind wanders with delight at the smell of a new way. My body moves with the rhythm of this world and all worlds beyond. I'm so divine, I cannot be defined. I am my own version of a woman. I am everything. I hold all movement in my hips and all compassion in my chest while coming up with solutions to heal the world in that space behind my eyes. Thinking how I can use my gifts, not the one between my thighs, but the light I bring with my eyes. We can make love with our minds. We can sing songs with no sound. We can say a statement with just a look. And we can wreak havoc if our world is shook, because we are the world. I am the world. I am Mother Nature. I hear her whisper to me in the breeze. I know she's there breathing with me while I sleep. She is me, and I am she. That's all.
Wow. I think we should give it up for her one more time. I'm kind of bummed I can't go to a bow event, but I'm down with the sisterhood thing. So I just want to say thank you, Sarah. I couldn't agree with you more that we all have stories of vulnerability and hurt and pain that need to be heard. It opens up each other's world to be able to be honest with each other. So thank you so much for going first and being vulnerable. Before our next performer comes up, I want to point over here. Everybody check out stage left. This is Irvington Books and Vinyl. And Alicia Smith sitting right over there did not want to come to the stage, but let's all look at her for about 10 seconds. You ready? There There she is. All local books and CDs. So go over and check out the table, okay? We have a spoken word poet coming up, artist, Ariane Cyusa. I can't wait to hear what she has to say. Let's give it up for her.
What's up, everyone? I think I should go over here. Hold up. Is this mic on? Yes. Yes, yes. Hi. Hi. This is all planned. I wanted to do all of this. Yep. I am desirable. I am desirable. My existence is valid. My presence is pleasure. My name brings holy joy. My smile warms you, reminds you of brighter days. My laugh eases the stiffness underneath your lungs and tickles your breath until you laugh back the song in my voice. Oils the gates at your inner until they slide open and you feel. My eyes, I save the best for last because my eyes twinkle like Christmas strings and let you remember your faith and love and being taken care of. Looking into my soft velvet brownness reminds you of what it's like to reach for the hand of the one you love. Finding it and rejoicing in the feeling of a warmth that gets tighter as they wrap their fingers around yours. I am desirable. I am love. Woo! It's hot. It's hot. All right, let me talk about Melodie real quick. So Melodie, I met her when she was coming to these open mics, taking professional pictures of people for free 99. Let's talk about that. Free? No, she will pay her now. You must pay her now. But I'm just saying, she did that out of her kindness, her own heart, took her time to drive down. And, you know, we're poets, we get up here and we talk about things and it feels so much, and then you leave and you almost want to pretend you didn't do all that here, you know? But then you go online and she's tagged you in a professional, I want to say professional again a third time, professional looking photo on a microphone, and you're like, I might be something. I might be something because Melodie took a picture of me, and that is what she's been for me this whole time, just really supportive, going out of her way, and of course, being her own poet, which you guys will see later. So I just want to say, let's give it up for Melodie again because you're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. So Melodie's going to talk about some pain, and I'm going to do that too. This next piece is called Afraid. I wrote this when a lot had been happening. I was just freaking out, and I got invited to go to a poetry slam where the topic was fear. And I was like, okay, sure, let me see what comes up. And I write this, I'm literally sobbing while writing this, and now it is just something for me to look at and accept in its reality, but also know I don't have to be here all the time. But it is me. I'm not ashamed of this, you know. I am afraid of dying slowly, of my tears eventually drowning me. The sun will burn my oceans back, and they'll find me gone and dry. The salt will have turned my skin to ash and nearly sand, my hair withered and gray. There'll be fish chewing on my fingertips, toes, my ears, and the tip of my nose. My eyes will be bloodshot rubies for the birds to find, landing triumphantly to feast. I am afraid of living eternally, of my bones getting heavier, bags of skin sinking beneath the ground with each step, dragging myself to my next sleep, waking up already drooping, mouth slack and open, eyes moist, praying for my last breath. I am afraid of losing my magic, of never having had it, Previously powerful words falling to pieces, a black and white spill of meaninglessness, a discord of unnecessary noise, a waste of time, spirit, and space, choking on empty mouthfuls. Though worst of all, I am afraid of the strength beneath my own ribs and how quickly it turns on me. Thank you so much. Thank you. Y'all ever feel like that? Anyone? Yeah? Just so scared all the time. This next poem is when I just kind of started feeling myself as a person and being less scared. So it's for me, it's one of my top favorite poems. It's called Ballerina. And I just want to say for this next one, I love when people are just paying attention so quietly. Yay, thank you. But we poets need y'all to be yelling things with me. Oh, thank you. Yeah, like that. Thank you. Thank you, Janessa. Let's give her a big thank you. Thank you. Black women finding solutions to them and acting on it. That's... Thank you. I am a professional. You didn't? Yeah. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to do this poem, and it's a poem that gets exciting for me. So it will make me more excited, and I'll do it better if y'all are also, jumping in. Let the noise out. Say whatever you want to say with me. Thank you. Thank you for practicing. Also, before I do this, I just want to do another shout out to my brother, Arno, and my friend Katie, and my friend Kristen, and Harold, and just everyone else that's here. I love you guys so much. I do love my brother the best, sorry. Out of all of you, he's my favorite. He always supports me through all of this. And I don't just mean here physically, taking pictures, carrying my heavy things, because I'm not going to, but he supported me emotionally. He's been such a rock for me, and I just think, yeah, and he is single, ladies. He's single, got his own house, got a job. He's a manager. Get it? Is that okay? I know that I did that. Is that okay? Do you feel good? Whew, let's do this. This whole time I have been thinking, when am I going to start? When am I going to get my shit together enough to start, to begin? Where am I going to find the strength so I can gather it, use it, and just be better? I love watching ballerinas. All dancers really, but ballerinas bring about an extra bit of sacrifice, of salt, of pain. Maybe it's in the cords of muscles you can see and really almost feel through the screen. It's in the sweat pulled in their collarbones. It's in the gasp of surprising length that comes out of nowhere when they fall or stand into a split. It's in the tightness of their hair. It's in their painfully sculpted facial expressions. It's in the slap of their hands against the ground. It's the impossible bends their entire bodies contort into to make you feel. The way they can make their toes balance their entire weight right before folding like a flower petal under the rain. I wanted to be like a ballerina. Not a ballerina, but like a ballerina, I wanted to be able to sacrifice that much. I wanted to pursue something with that much intensity. I wanted to one day be able to get out of my sleep and run towards a goal the way these doll dancers do. So I was in the middle of feeling the feeling of one, that bravery, that strength, that courage, when it hit me in the chest. And I realized that I have been doing this. I have been rushing headfirst towards a goal. I have been sacrificing. I have been practicing. I have been putting my all into something. And I have been intense about it. I have been making this describe who I am. I have been performing it. I have been a dancer, a runner this whole damn time. To have survived. To have pushed through and lived this long. To have experienced the extreme highs and lows that I floated in between. To have been there and made it to here. To have been raised by two people so afraid of the darkness they could not see their light and try to crush mine. to have been so lonely, so voiceless, to make it to this, to make it to a point where I put value on what I feel, to make it to a place where I don't want to apologize for taking up this space. This has been a great work. This has been a dance recital, and I had no idea I was in it. I thought I was part of the audience watching the show and dreaming about, thinking about maybe auditioning, when it turns out I've been the star all along. I thought I was a child on the sidelines watching runners sprint by, wishing I had longer legs to help me keep up. But not only did I have the legs, I was running too. I was flying. I have been excelling. I have been living. I have transcended. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Whew. Thank you so much. I have one last piece, after which I get to introduce your next artist, who is, I can't even get into it yet. Let me focus here. I just want to say, so I'm from South Bend. I lived here for a bit, but I did drive here from South Bend. Yay. And I just want to say, in South Bend, there's a show we'll be featuring at this coming Sunday, the 27th, and it will be a free show in South Bend, Indiana. So if you think you want to come to South Bend, Indiana, and maybe support me, and, come hang out, we just hang out afterwards and do whatever, just let me know. I'll give you the details. And you can also support me by getting an on-the-spot poem from me, or just giving me money, because life is hard out here. Give me money, give every artist here money, give all of us money, and we will keep giving you our art. We will keep giving you our art. We'll just keep doing this. Love. Isn't it? Isn't it? Okay. So I do have this last poem. I hope you guys like it. It's about, who likes fruits? Who's into really good fruits? Yeah, you like fruits, Katie? Somebody, what's your favorite fruit, Katie? Raspberries, nice. Anybody else? Apples? Bananas are good. Get the potassium. Pineapples, yes. Ooh, exotic, okay, yes. What was yours? Blueberries, nice, thank you. What was that? Mangoes. I don't want to talk about mangoes, you guys. I don't know if you've heard this poem before. That's why I'm so excited. It's one of my favorite poems to perform. It's called Mango. It's about mangoes or wherever else you want it to be about. Is there anything as erotic as eating a mango by candlelight? I don't just mean consuming a delicious fruit in a relaxing environment. I mean eating a mango by the light of a single scented candle. Shadows and fire thrown up on the wall, the rain overhead, gentle, far, and echoing. Birds and drums, thunder and wings, flesh so succulent you can almost taste it with just your fingers. Tantalizing. The flirt of your tongue on slippery sweetness, the citrus scent invading you. The first bite is a rush. Sweet chunks and thick juices running past your lips and down your throat, racing to meet moans, rising to be known. The candle flickers. Fire dancing merrily from behind your closed eyelids as you move, not letting a single free space not meet your teeth, your tongue. You slurp it all up and let the skin fall back on the plate. Spent. And on it goes, discovering every facet, ingesting. Last, but definitely not least, you pick up the core, the seed, the nut. Hard inside shell covered in dripping softness. It barely fits in your mouth, but you don't want to bite it down just yet. You allow it to push itself in as far as it can go, stretching your cheeks and straining your breath. Relax. You tell yourself, relax. Relax. You have all the time you need. It is sweeter and wetter on its way out, back in a blurred flesh, back out, hot air. air rushing in its space, hot gas and exclaims filling the air. And finally, you bite in, getting all the meat, the sweet, leaving wet strings behind, sitting back, hands sticking to your naked thighs, mouth slick with fruit that you slowly lick off. You think to yourself, damn, now that was a good mango. Thank you so much. Thank you. I realize I did I kind of went on a different vibe tangent there. But I do want to explain, and I'm going to start talking about this publicly when I do this. I believe in sensual poetry. I believe in being a bigger woman on stage doing sensual poetry. I believe in being a virgin and doing sensual poetry. I think people need to talk about that. Everything I do so far is from just me, and it's been a lot of heavy work to get to this point. And so anytime anybody wants to hear about that personally from me, come talk to me. So, let's talk about Devon. Let's talk about Devon Ginn. Yes, where is he? Where are you? I see you. First time I met Devon, I had just come to Indianapolis, and I walked into a coffee shop and just said, hey, do you guys know where there are open mics sometimes? Sometimes people that do poetry sometimes, and they're like, yeah, like Thursdays here. And I'm like, cool. I was there on time. Because I don't believe in CP time for myself. And I'm there on time. It takes a little bit. A lot of people, people with their laptops, different things, whatever. And then in comes sweeping this tall, gorgeous man. He was wearing like these Elton John glasses, and he was wearing black with some kind of very bright looking sweater that just swept behind him as he just action starts unfolding a stage out of nowhere in that coffee shop. Is like with this deep voice, just starts with a poem. He always starts with a poem. Poets in America, I don't know, it's been a while, but you know what I mean, I'm trying to do it. I used to actually know these lines actually, but anyways, ever since I first met Devon to every single time I saw him at Iconoclast, a free Thursday show that he was at every Thursday hosting, when I saw him at different shows, when I saw him practice for a competition, I have always been blown away by his talent and what he does with his words and his body and his voice. And at the same time, he has always insisted on valuing each word spoken by each poet. And Devon is a star. So you guys are lucky. Here you go. Let's go, Devon. Keep clapping him up as he comes up here. Yes, looking good. Okay. Come on, Devon. Yes. I'm keeping the mic.
Please give her another round of applause, y'all. Now I got to live up to the standard. I mean, oh my God. Okay, I probably should have held on to the microphone. All for nothing. If you can hear me, say yeah. If you can hear me, say yeah. Who here is ready to meditate? So, full disclosure, the content that you heard earlier is a little heavy, and if you have already read Melodie's book, you know that it is full of some really, really heavy content, and I can't think of a better way to get you prepared for what you're about to hear from this reading than to introduce you all to some mindfulness meditation. So, regardless of where you're at, I invite you to establish a nice, tall, and long spine. Perhaps you take those shoulders and bring them to your ears and then roll them back. Let your sternum stick out just so. Allow your chin and jaw to be parallel to Mother Earth below. what you do. Every aspect of our life requires us to breathe. Breathing is a part of our autonomic nervous system, and I'm curious, what will it look like if you assign some deep intention to each and every inhale and each and every exhale? Just like we blink, just like our heart beats, we breathe without thinking. Thank God, I would have died a long time ago. It's so deeply important to oxygenate our bodies and our minds. Oftentimes we find ourselves riddled with anxiety and depression. We're scared and we're nervous. And what's the best way to disconnect from all of what I just mentioned? Establishing some sort of connection to the breath. It's not an end-all be-all. Medicine is great, but so is mindfulness. If we were in the wild, it would probably be very helpful for us to have some adrenaline pump through our bones and some cortisol in our bodies, all of these chemicals that during fight or flight are very important. But if you're stressed about a deadline, if you're stressed about rent, fight or flight's probably not very helpful. So I invite you to take this breathing technique and put it in your back pocket. So regardless of where you are or what you're doing, before you submit something for a potential missed deadline, before you pay rent, anything that you may do that could give you some butterflies, all you have to do is stop and breathe. But please remember that it's okay to not be okay. I mean, we're all human. And human is as human does. So when you've got a splinter in your eye, it kind of feels like you've got a splinter in your eye. And the only image visible is that of a saran-wrapped dream coursing through gas-filled chambers for us to breathe with our human lungs, only to instigate a battle between logic and faith, like embodying a body of water quenched with the insufferable thirst, resting sloppily across the bare skin of a rib cage that hides pieces of hearts, super glued to sleeves and closets that don't often get cleaned unless guts are being spilled like oil in the Gulf. So we shadow mirrors that reflect a light we're not quite ready to see, as if the being staring us in the face is Pluto. Pre-planted phases and those pretty planted faces sprout feathers from metropolitan soil. So you can jump as high as you might, but those pedestals will forever be out of reach, blocking the sky to ensure that our human tongues can't properly articulate the distance between these pupils and the sun. So we spit bullets aimed at a sunset that doesn't exist, hoping to juxtapose logic and faith between teeth that clench the tongues of those cranium-dwelling voices who turn pages of light with blood-stained fingertips. It's almost routine, see. I scratch where it itches, and you do too, because we're just human, imperfections and all. Two random people we never met gave us a lifelong contract to a body we didn't ask for and enrolled us in life, where the only way to get a diploma is to kick the bucket. So don't be sorry we don't dance that dance anymore. Don't be sorry we don't kick rusty cans anymore. We can easily tuck nostalgia away in a bottle-rocketed pocket, stop, dropping, and roll, two fatties, just to lighten the mood. And we can fourth grade time capsule the past and bottle it in a jar near Romani villages where they dance our dances and where they breathe our scents, because remembering won't be so difficult anymore. See, human is as human does. So when you've got a splinter in your eye, let those monarch patterns ink graffiti onto the lining of your stomach, because that pain makes you tangible to somebody's God. And it's almost like we know exactly why we're here. Thank you all. At the top of the chime that you hear, the invitation here is for you to inhale for 4 seconds, hold your breath for 4 seconds, and then release for 8. You inhale for 4, you hold for 4, and you release for 8. Now, that's pranayama, and it's not the easiest technique to learn. So a modification for that, perhaps you inhale for 8 counts, without holding your breath, and then you exhale for 8 counts. This is a part of that oxygenation of the mind and body that I was talking about earlier. So if you lost your posture, no judgment. I might have lost mine too. Go ahead and take those shoulders and bring them up to your ears. Let me see you shrug real quick. Okay. Roll them all the way to the back. Yeah. At the sound of the chime, you inhale for 4, you hold for 4, you exhale for 8. We'll do that 3 times in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Final round. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Regardless of what you do, you can continue to breathe in that exact same pattern. If you do that, more power to you. But while we listen to this next poem, I invite you to breathe at a pace that serves you without judgment. Just make sure that you feel your whole diaphragm being engaged when you inhale, and as you exhale, you let it all go. It's important for me, no matter where I'm at, to honor my ancestors in everything that I do. And an ancestor that I respect and admire is Mama Marsha P. Johnson. So this poem kind of chronicles her life. And if you don't know about Marsha P. Johnson, you will today. 1945 in Elizabeth, New Jersey, a queen established her monarchy where sovereignty was ignored and her full self destined to be misnamed before she had a name that was never her name. It was a shot glass first. Some say it was a rock. Some say it was a brick sitting. Sip, splashed, shatter the reveal. What matters is that people saw. People could recount the moment St. Marcia decided a queen needed space amongst the need for space. In a space with no space, a life lived in a vacuum full of suck and fuck and holy flowers, hiding in back seats and blacked out bars, flowing with watered down sanctioned libation, blurry and vivid, stone and wall, glitter and gin flowing down the alleyways and the boulevards linked to a village comprised of a set of systems rooted in white supremacist patriarchal capitalism on Christopher Street. But if we're being honest, we know Mama would say it's just another Saturday, honey, and the swine, ever present and anti-black, cuffing to shackle, knocking to break, snatching, lynched, pearls, clutched. When the streets came about, you understood that they knew her name, Mama Marsha P. Johnson. Marsha P. Johnson is the reason why we celebrate Gay Pride. Marsha P. Johnson walked so that I could run. She is responsible for the human that I am today. We both have to live in a society that wants us dead. There's a massive amount of privilege that I have over her, and I have to acknowledge that. So I give thanks for who she was and who I am as a result. And that's the nature of what it's like living here in America. And we know that America is the unclipped wick making a mockery of the glass holding its wax while the world giggles at our luck. It's the glimpse of twilight cast from the depths of our flesh, allowing us to breathe in a fate we hastily accept. And the hollow spaces where they design the tools of the damned feel too much like home, too much like good intentions. Bodies existing in the margins stomach the weight of the great American parable, fearful to rouse persons at rest. How we wish to navigate such precarious terrain, never administered that atlas y'all traverse rivers with, bellies full from hunger, devoid of hope, still frolic to the tune of tomorrow with love. The palms and the soles of the feet, they lose that familiar grip with comfort. Sprinklings of generational calamity paint portraits the world abhors, and fails to critique in the appropriate light, bathed the darkest of demons in holy water with the intent to air dry the secrets we've bleached and bleached and bleached with the impurities rooted too deep. We scrub our skin raw to clean our confusion, praying that the scabs we yield will harden all over and fall quick enough to show off the wings we pray will appear gallant. I've got genuine love for all beings too, forced to inhabit this hostile environment. And we've the nerve to call such a space home. We've the nerve to bear backbone sans brevity. But just remember, all you have to do, without judgment of self, is breathe and be. So while you're in the crowd, when you're listening to the incomparable Melodie recite poetry from this beautiful book, remember that it's okay to not be okay. Nobody has to be perfect. We all have a story to tell. And I'm grateful to share space with all of you beautiful folks who have stories of your own, who've told them already on stage. Just know that no matter who you are, I've got so much love for you. If you like what I did up here, feel free to holler at me. I do sound bath meditations on a regular basis. I'm a registered yoga and meditation teacher, and I can get you right. And also, while you're here, please support these wonderful vendors lined up along these walls. Each of them has some amazing things that you need to just dig right into. I'm on Instagram and Twitter at YoDevG. I do these sound bath meditations through Mind Melt Soundscapes. But enough about me. Thank you all so much. Ashe.
Thank you, Devon. That was incredible. I feel like we should almost golf clap because we're all pretty chill right now, right? The meditation was incredible. Are you guys ready, though? We have to give it up, though, because the woman of the hour is coming to the stage. So let's hear it loud and proud for Melodie as we read this book. Let's go.
Okay. Hey, everybody, I'm back. I missed you guys. Did you miss me? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to get serious now. And again, if this gets a little heavy and you guys need to take a break or go outside or step out, it is totally okay. I will not be upset. I totally understand. So here we go, hopefully. So a lot of you may or may not know I ran away from home at 16 years old. My parents were actually very prominent in the county fair community. So for a long time after I ran away, when people asked me why I did it, I would look them dead in the eye, totally serious, and tell them I did it so I didn't have to be in 4-H anymore. Looking back, I think I obviously did that because it was much easier to make a joke than to say the truth out loud. That my sister's 20-year-old boyfriend had started molesting me at 12, and I thought she hated me for it. I thought my parents hated me for existing. I thought no one wanted me there, so I left. My book begins on that cold night when I thought that I would gain my freedom by running away. So it begins with Run Away Home. Did that, I don't know. So that wasn't supposed to happen. Help, Brian, thank you. All right, Run Away Home. I feel so trapped. My small light floods the entire room with brightness. There are no sounds except the humming of the dryer downstairs. I get up. I know it's time for me to go. As I walk, I feel my mind lighten. I take one last look in the mirror. I look different, not myself. I pick up my things, and though they are heavy, they feel light compared to the weight on my heart. I walk down the long, dark hallway, and I don't look back. So many things are happening at once. I approach the stairs and steadily walk down with a bag in each hand. Everything is still quiet. I walk down the stairs and turn into yet another dark hallway, but this time I feel a chill. I know I may never be back. I stop to take my clothing from the warm dryer. I put them in my bag. As I approach the door, I know I can't come back once I walk out. I go through the door and the cold wind bites through my skin. I smell smoke in the air from a fire long since perished. I walk to the car and get in. I turn the key. I feel a loss, but at the same time, a great gain. Freedom. Finally, I turn on the headlights, and they pierce the dark like a sword. These are the lights I will always follow, because these are the ones that truly take me home. Just driving. Not sure where the fuck to go. Not sure what to do. You find the hard way freedom's got a price. I don't know if I'll ever find a place to call my own. Just hoping for somewhere to call tonight. Everything I fucking own is riding in the back. Ain't got no time to stop and rest my head. It's getting really cold and dark way out in BFE, and if you stop in the wrong spot, you'll end up dead. Not sure where the fuck I'll sleep. Not sure where I'll live. Not sure if I want to live this way. Right now, I just got to think of what the fuck to do, though, so I can keep my ass alive today. Tri-County neighborhood. Drive town to town looking for food to calm the drugs down in our stomachs. We take what we get in this Tri-County hole, beg, borrow, or steal, and they love it. Because when we get our kicks, they get theirs too, and they act like they're all up above it. They all sling their shit at us so fucking much that we all look like we've been out mudding. But what can I say? We waller in it, writhe around in the shit on our bellies. It's easier to slither through these sleazy streets. Got a better idea, you can tell me. But I'm here to tell you, it's beat 'em or join 'em, so you better be fucking good. Because you won't walk away. Nobody leaves this fucking Tri-County neighborhood. Chestnut and 4th. Deep down in this shady motel on the corner of Chestnut and 4th. The walls move 24 hours a day, and nobody there's seen the Lord. A counterfeit tabula rasa in a town known for being just small. But the only thing further away from the truth is how far the cops are from the law. In the streets, the meth whores and their daddies slither around sniffing for tricks. And there's no fucking discrimination, no fucking such thing as just kids. The days just keep on getting longer, and the cold winter nights scurry close. And all of the residents trapped in that place are running away from their ghosts. And the smell of the aged, rotting flesh that piles up so deep in their closets brings them together and keeps them from leaving like pheromones sprayed round in a brothel. Yet somehow, there's always a room left. That vacancy sign's always on. And it calls out to lost souls all over the world that get trapped in its wide open arms. That comforting glow of the street lights that makes you feel 16 and free Just like Stockholm Syndrome can make you feel love, the chestnut can make you love to bleed. And me, I'm not really no different, wandering in off the streets. A part of me's still right on back there and don't know if I want to leave. From that little old sleazy motel room on the corner of Chestnut and 4th, where the walls move 24 hours a day and no one can save you but the Lord. I left all my innocence back there on the corner of Chestnut and 4th. I just can't remember what my life was like before I walked right through that door. Before I stepped into that cold room on the corner of Chestnut and 4th, where the walls move 24 hours a day, but you'll never move there no more. The lions didn't sprint. 80 down a back road, way out in BFE. We're going awful fast for never gonna leave. The headlights stab the black air as we travel down the road, trying to make it to the highway for the soberness takes hold. The pigs are staking out the sides, but we're one step ahead, because we don't want to go to jail, but we don't care if we're dead. Tree skeletons engulf us as they fly by dirty windows. This old back road's full of evil, but there's always room for more ghosts. Old Smoky's gaining on us, but our luck's still holding out like the government holds water when the nation's in a drought. Just a few more hills and hairpin turns are coming up ahead, and that pig might still be gaining, but we don't care if we're dead. That road might curve before us, but our speed straightens it out, and we've lost that fucking porker for a second of his doubt. We lock it up and slide into a driveway on the right, kill the car and hunker down and watch that fucking pig fly by. We slither back on 250, fixin' to ramble on. We're pretty sure the coast is clear, but don't care if he's gone. Because we still got that mission waiting for us up ahead. We're both almost fucking sober, and we'd rather be dead. A reprieve. Time for us to take another little trip down south. We got to take a trip to get to trip. We're making damn good time, and we should get there before we're down. There's something freeing about this big, long stretch. Lucy's riding shotgun, and it's getting kind of late, but I'm pretty sure we'll get there for the morn. We done crossed the border, and we're almost to Mobile, but this time we're not stopping till the shores. The air is cool but warm enough to take the T-tops out, the Gulf fog swallowing up the road ahead. Nights like these are pretty fucking rare anymore. The nights that I forget I'm almost dead. I slide my hands just out the window trying to touch the clouds. My fingertips are surfing on the breeze. The pixies sliding in my ear have got me feeling fine. Their wave of mutilation sets me free. I could live here just like this for every second left. Bubble up this moment and be done. Pump the volume on the sound and leave the world behind until my shadows and my light are one. I could live here just like this and never a regret. Never think about the things I lost. I could live here just like this and leave the world behind. Just me and Lucy and this Gulf Shores fog. The Battle of Hayden Pike. Just got a new house and we're playing pretend. Somehow we don't know it'll end. But Merlin's been supplying our southern kin, and I told them to not let those fucking people in. It's just been 3 months, but the walls bleed our sins. It's sucking our souls like we're stuck in quicksand. But somehow, this shitstorm is about to get worse. We've been teasing the devil, and he's about to quench his thirst. Broke glass rips the night like a banshee in heat. Didn't think a shotgun in my face would ever meet. Get down on the ground, cuts through me like a knife. Didn't think I would die on a night like tonight. I shut my eyes super tight till there's nothing but dark. Just praying and praying that this gunplay don't start. Just praying and praying they'll at least end it easy. Just kill me real quick, but at least save the baby. They duct tape us real tight so we won't get away. Because I'm with child, they give me some sway. But something about that tone and his voice told me real fucking quick he wasn't just being nice. The drugs and the money is what we're after. I said I got money, but they answered with laughter. Gerald Lee, go on and look in the freezer. We won't hurt you, little lady. We're their fucking reapers. Then just like that, as quick as it started, a few empty threats, and then they departed. And nothing was left in that aftermath of violence except the ripping of duct tape through deafening silence. It really is true. Those goblins will get you if you keep on smiting the hand that begets you. You wait and you watch and you look for the signs, but we don't really want them when we're towing the line. All we can feel is the Jones of an addict. We barely got out, but we just need some practice. Next time we'll be ready and draw our guns first. No more fucking around. They'll go home in a hearse. Just another night, AKA, hey, I hung out with you at that house on State Street. I'm the only one that's sober once again tonight. I just want a bit of quiet, not another fight. Because all this shit just gets real old every fucking day. I'd take my baby girl and leave. Because of her, I'm staying. I'm trying to whitewash all the bullshit stained onto these walls. If I don't hold my shit together, we're all gonna fall. But everywhere I go, it seems I'm just a piece of meat. Don't want to stay, but got no place to go if I could even leave. It's just another night of taking care of drunks, I guess. It's just another night that my whole life's a fucking mess. It's just another night that some dude knocks me to the floor while everybody in the room just watches and giggles for more. Teddy, you don't want to do this. Remember, I'm your friend. I know I gotta stay calm, but this fucker's got me pinned. Teddy, please don't do this, buddy. Please just let me go. Fuck, I know I gotta stay calm, but this shit is getting old. I'm begging and I'm pleading and I'm trying to talk him down, but he just says he loves me as he grinds into the ground. The laughing's getting louder and it echoes all around. Why the fuck is no one helping me? I try to block the sound. Teddy, please don't do this, buddy. Please just let me go. He's really not a bad guy. That vodka's got his soul. Teddy, please, you're scaring me. Fuck, now I'm gonna cry. Oh wait, that tear's got his attention. There's some life back in his eyes. He shakes his head and slowly blinks, and then he blinks again. Oh good, I think he's coming to. I think this bullshit's gonna end. He loosens up his grip and finally, slowly sets me free. I get up, dust myself back off, and then I start to clean. I really just don't want to stay, but don't know how to leave. I put the table back, pick up the glass, and mend a sleeve. It's just another night that my whole life's a fucking mess, but you're not supposed to walk away from family, I guess. Old Town Shuffle. Everything's real quiet as we sit in the car. We're a little down the road, but not very far. How long this will take, really nobody knows. Right now, a pin drop would make canyon echoes. Then all of a sudden, Ike jumps in the car screaming, drive, motherfucking drive, it's the motherfucking law. What the fuck, I can't go, what about Susie? They done got her ass, now we gotta move, babe. We lurch on the road, headlights slicing the dark. I point the car north, gonna slide by our mark. It's 20 and winding on 7 through Old Town. I slink through real slow, trying to see what the fuck's down. I snake round the curve, red and blue lights the sky. I'm paranoid as fuck because I'm guilty and high. Just a matter of time before those pigs come and get me because I'm that dumb bitch's #1 enemy. But wouldn't you know it, I got me some luck. I guess it's a good thing that whore likes to suck. She's been spreading those beef curtains all over town, and I guess there's a line to take that dumb bitch down. So I done got there late and didn't take a number, and I might have set fire to that skanky-ass dumpster, but even the cops thought that bitch was pathetic, and everyone round town was taking the credit. Well, what could I do besides let them all have it? I've been there and done that. Survival takes practice, and the only thing better than getting revenge is staying squeaky fucking clean in the end. Cold concrete cage. Sitting here listening to industrial crickets. Folks walking around like they're lost on a mission. But I never wanted to be stuck here this way. But here I sit, here I live, here I just stay. Factory-made melodies lull us to sleep, and anti-emotion pills hide what we keep. But what I keep doesn't need hid every day. But here I sit, here I live, here I just stay. And again, I hear humming of industrial crickets, lost souls all around me just getting their fixes. Use and repeat at least twice a day to get through this shift in the least feeling way. Top-level merchandise buys out our souls, and we keep right on grinding, just trying to fill holes. Subconscious bribery does us a favor, and we just sit numbly wishing for a savior. I just keep praying for God to set me free. I can't do this again. Why won't he just kill me? I'm trying to be good, but it feels so alone. Don't make me live in this cold concrete home. It's past 20 years now, and I'm still here grinding. Don't even think no more, just obey blindly. Fuck, my life's gone now, and soon it's my soul. This industrial nightmare is swallowing me whole. Stumbling up the mountain. I find it amazing how some people can affect us in such fundamental ways in the blink of an eye, while others can be in our lives our entire existence, like that of a sturdy mountainside that blocks your view of the sun, but can never quite keep you from growing. I met a boy, one of the most beautiful boys I've ever met, and I didn't know it. Later, I found out why I couldn't see how wonderful he was. It was because I realized looking at him was like looking at a reflection of myself, and at the time, I just didn't like myself that much. By the time I realized I had fallen, it was too late, and I left him at the top of that hill while I ran away, stumbling back to that mountain for cover. It's hard to tell how long I'll be able to be here in its shadow. I'm like the Trans Am that you buy for fun, but you really just can't get up those mountain roads without that Toyota 4Runner, and that's something that I'm never going to be. So it's funny how some people can affect you so much. Some people stay in our lives for decades, but then some are so much more. Some can change the entire structure of your being in a 2-hour car ride, and nothing will ever be the same. to the beginning of the end? Am I too far gone to make it? Too late to be saved? Will I ever feel what stable's like? All these places that I run just trying to escape. Detroit, the coast, New York's the same alike. This acrid doom, it follows me most everywhere I go, and I'm just looking for a friendly hand. How much further I can go is anybody's guess. I'm trying and fucking doing the best I can. I heard salvation's hiding in the eye of this here storm, but my red eyes are swallowed up by hate. This cruel-ass world has swallowed almost everything I love, and I'm about to self-disintegrate. I'm trying to go for one last savior, one last fucking dream, one last motherfucking piece of pie. And if this time this shit don't work and I just can't get out, I hope at least that I can fucking die. Photographic malady. The length of 3 songs. It's like a heartbeat in time, but it passes in slow motion. The band charges onto the stage and begins to gain speed as my eyes dart back and forth inside my eyepiece. Time crawls slowly like a train holding up traffic, but in the end it was really not even close to long enough to drink in the scene and digest. There's a whispering behind my eyes all the while as I work, creating a rhythm to my madness. It engulfs my mind and body until I succumb. Shoot, edit, repeat. Shoot, edit, repeat. Shoot, edit, repeat. It's a kind of preternatural chanting that hangs heavy and smears through the air, painting a grin across my face. The incantation rises up to the stage with the heat of my desire and melts itself to the melodies pouring out to the crowd. I take my eyes out of the lens and set them back in the real world. I pray that I manage to capture at least one soul to later feed my addiction. I eclipse my face once again with my photographic guise and scan the crowd with an insatiable hunger that overrides my fears. The 3 songs might be over, but the night is still young, and the crowd is particularly spirited tonight. Plenty of time, plenty of room in my bottomless pit of a heart. Shoot, edit, repeat. Shoot, edit, repeat. Shoot, addict, repeat. Shoot, addict, reap it. So, thank you. Thank you guys. So that is it for my depressing material, and we can do some questions real quick if anybody has any questions. I'd like to welcome Mike back up to the stage to help me out with the questions and answers. Maybe he's got a question.
So,
and nothing is too personal, by the way, so. Yeah.
All right, you heard it. So this took a lot of courage to do, and she did an incredible job, got all the way through, shared her story. Can we just thank her one more time for her vulnerability? And
thank you, guys.
Yep. Yep.
Super awkward, thank you.
Yep, that's what we do. So, as you go through the chapters of the book, your life seems to get a little better, then progresses worse, and it kind of goes on this up and down journey. And the last piece, the photographic malady, it seems like maybe you found some solace. It seems like you found what you absolutely love to do, which is be a concert photographer. But your ending line, it makes it almost seem like an addiction to you as well. So can you talk through that just a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you asked me that, because it's something I do like to touch on. I think a lot of people make the mistake of maybe when they have problems or they're trying to get over addictions or breakups, you know, it could be big or small things, they like bury themselves in work or bury themselves in a hobby. And that, you know, can be good to help stuff out, but if you don't fix what's wrong, if you just hide behind other things, it's ultimately going to come back up. And I know that, so when I got to first start doing concert photography, I'd wanted to do it since I was, 10 years old. I thought, God made me to do this. This is what I want to do. And so I was so happy, I'm like, yay, I got my dream. All my problems are gone. Well, guess what? I think all of you know that all of my problems were not gone. I'm totally crazy. And so when COVID hit and all of the events shut down, I got concert photography taken away from me, and that's when I realized what I had done, that I had just been trying to fill holes with work. And so I think it's kind of important to remember that, working and stuff is a safe place to hide for a while, but ultimately, you have to reach out and get help. And, everyone here that's partnered with me tonight, and some people are just coming, have been here to help me through things. And when I was really depressed over COVID, they helped me. CityLife helped me, my family, a lot of you out here, you over there, and you guys, sorry, I'm like snorting, but you all helped me. But yeah, so that's kind of what that piece is about, just me realizing that I had turned concert photography just into another addiction. And so yeah, now I'm not perfect, of course. I still have plenty of problems, but I'm definitely closer to finding a balance to where I can have happiness and then be happy with concert photography, but not hide behind it, though I do hide behind my camera.
I would say that she's not hiding tonight. Would you guys agree? Yeah, incredible. Okay, so it's your turn for questions. I'm coming down to you. Who's got one? I'm back here first.
I'm not sure if you mentioned it earlier, but how long have you been clean?
How long? What was that?
How long have you been clean?
Oh, that's a hard question to answer. So I would say that my biggest problem with drugs was actually probably Oxycontin. And at the factory, honestly, I don't know that all factories are like that, but in big factories, some environments, people just share pills and give you pills. And so I got hooked on oxys for free. You gotta be careful, it's a dangerous thing. So I left the factory in 2018, and honestly, I don't know if I've ever said this to people before, but when I left the factory, I was given farewell gifts of bottles of pills from a lot of people, and at first I was like, oh, presents, but after about a month, I was just like, what am I doing? And I threw them away in a manner that I couldn't get back. So I'd say probably about the end of 2018 is when I was really made a push to clean myself up. And it's still a struggle. Just within the last couple of weeks, honestly, as I was trying to prepare for this event, I had people reach out to me that I hadn't heard from in forever and be like, hey, I've got some oxys and roxys and hydroboxys, I don't know, do you want some? And I was like, no. So, it's been a few years and I'm still trying.
Is that the same dress that you wore to the Sunshine Day Cafe how many years ago? You look fabulous.
Thank you so much. Yes, I got this dress when I was in my 20s, and I am now 44. It's my only piece of clothing that probably still fits, but I like that you asked me that. Thank you.
All right, who's next? One up here, sorry.
The Jeopardy music was perfect. So, of course, we know that the material in your work is really heavy, and quite frankly, it felt like we were looking at an open diary. You were very vulnerable and very honest. And with all of this heavy material, I'm curious, what do you use to wind down? What does self-care look like for you?
Just quiet and a lot of praying. That's pretty much it. I just, kind of maybe shrink back into myself a little bit and just take a few minutes to kind of calm down. And I do that. I don't know if I should say this, but weed, that's I'm sorry to everyone at my church, my family. I don't know.
That's good. Good question.
Yeah, that's bad advice. Don't do drugs. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said.
First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for putting this together and for allowing us to witness you and celebrate you. I had never even heard of you before today, and I'm absolutely in love, and I just appreciate you so much. So my question is, first of all, it was so amazingly creative, the way that you told the story of your life in between, the way that you did the poetry for each different segment, and then the way that you had the slideshow behind you. Like, you nailed it. This is so nice.
Thank you so much.
My question is, because I'm in the process of writing a book and sharing more about my story, what did you use in your writing process to kind of break down what stories you wanted to turn into poems? Like, how did you do your framework? Because it was awesome.
That's a great question. I actually, because I did actually start to write things about a lot of other topics. And then some of them, I would just go ahead and let myself start writing. And then if it kind of got too hard where I felt like I was forcing it, I would put it down. And then maybe look at it later. And then if something clicked later, I would go back to it. And if not, I would be like, okay, I'm going to throw this out. But honestly, I relied on friends a lot. With everything that I wrote, I had 2 or 3 different friends that I would call up and be like, hey, can I read this to you? How does this sound? Even when I put the whole book together, I reached out to a few people and I was like, hey, can you watch all these videos, read all this book, and tell me from a general public standpoint? And I looked for people that did not like poetry. I want to found people that did not like poetry, and I'm like, I'm going to read you this, and I want you to tell me if you want to fall asleep or if you're bored, and then kind of made my judgments that way. Like, if I read it to somebody that hated poetry and they were like, yay, that's good, then I'm like, okay, that'll work. So, yeah.
Great question. Let's keep them coming. Who's got another one?
It's okay. Now's your chance to ask me some really slimy personal stuff. That's okay.
All right.
Hey, thank you so much for having us tonight and for putting this all together. We really appreciate you. So one of the things that comes up in my writing frequently, especially with nonfiction, even if it's creative, is the worry about accountability to other people who read your story. And so especially with a story as raw and as personal as your story, how do you not just mitigate that through your writing, but how do you also mitigate it to the point where you can have a public event with Indianapolis artists and people who support you coming on out as well? It seems like that's a leap of faith.
Yes, it is. I mean, I did do a lot of research on, for example, this is, kind of, I don't want to say it's fiction based on real life, but, it's labeled as a poetry collection and not straight up nonfiction. But I did go out of my way to kind of change some facts and names and stuff. That way you couldn't just read the book and easily identify anyone that had been involved in the situations with me. I did reach out to a few of the people I had contact with, and I kind of said, hey, I'm going to do this project. And then all of the pictures I included, I made sure there was no identifying characteristics of either no pictures of the other people or making sure that they couldn't be identified. But I did kind of get on Google and say Google what is legal in this situation and what isn't, to make sure, it wouldn't come back later. So hopefully nobody's mad.
That's a great question. So, yes, ma'am. One more. No. I'm coming to you.
This is very beautiful, by the way. But my question is, at what point in your life or throughout your journey did you feel like, I need to let this out, that I need to let other people hear my story, and why? Like, I know why throughout it's a process of your healing, but at what point did you get to where I want to put this out there, basically?
Yeah. It was kind of definitely COVID that was the ultimate pusher. I had looked at some of these instances to maybe write about them earlier on years ago, and when I was talking about earlier, when I'd start to write about stuff and it just didn't click, so I would put it aside. But I think when I was trying to do it before, I don't even think I realized how much trauma I had from the stuff that had happened. I was just like, hey, I can use this for writing material. But then when COVID happened and I was left kind of jobless and super depressed, I had actually been working on another book, and when I did the release of that book, a friend of mine had kind of given me the idea for the title, given me this title for this book, and I was going to just write like regular poems, and then I was like, no, if I'm going to use that title, it needs to be powerful. Well, then COVID happened, and I say I was depressed, but it was a little beyond that, and I was like, I'm going to look at this project again, because this kind of stuff would, I thought, be good with this title. I thought I need to, maybe try to take this material and instead of writing it in my normal style, kind of cross it with like the beatniks and my normal style, like bring in a little burrows and stuff like that. And I'm not sure if I answered your question. I'm so sorry, but yeah, at that point, it was kind of COVID that pushed me over the edge, and I was just alone for months with myself. And I don't know why, but for some reason, a lot of my past stuff started coming up. And also on that, this is kind of, I don't know if this is an interesting fact or what this is, but I think part of the reason I didn't write about this stuff sooner or know how traumatized I was is because in my hometown, the area that I know Travis touched on a little bit where we're from, it is just riddled with meth and oxys and just, I don't know, the town just within a few amount of years, like all of my friends were hooked on things. And I think I didn't know how traumatized I was because everybody in the community I was living in the Tri-County neighborhood, has had these things happen to him. Everybody that I was around had been held at gunpoint or sexually assaulted, just all of these horrible things. And when I moved to Indianapolis to try to get away from it, as I made more friends in Indianapolis and made friends with people that these things didn't happen to, because it's not normal like I thought it was. I thought this is how life is. This is just how everywhere is. So at first I was like, yay, it's great because life's better up here. But then the more people I got to know and the more I tried to talk about myself, the more I was like, oh my God, these people think I'm weird. I can't tell about my past. People don't want to hear this. And so over the years of coming to shows and trying to get jobs and people being like, maybe you might not want to talk so much. Maybe you don't want to tell that story about getting held at gunpoint. And I'm like, oh, you mean that's not normal? But yeah, it all kind of hit me at once over COVID to where I realized that, life isn't like that for everybody, and that I wanted to tell my story because I got sick of making new friends and then people telling me, hey, you're not allowed to talk about this. Hey, I like you, but don't be yourself, it's too much. And so I was just kind of like, you know what? Not only am I going to be myself, I'm going to put it all together at once, and you can just listen to all of it or just walk away and don't take any of it. But I just...
There we go.
So, yeah, sorry I talked a little bit too much on that one, but...
And you never talk too much. I'm really grateful to be in the room tonight to hear you get vulnerable with us, and thank you for being so open and honest. We need more of this shit. So everybody just give her a round of applause for being a superhero real quick. Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.
That too. What she said. It's a real shit. Good job. My question for you, being that you know I'm also in the middle of writing a book and am also a single mom. My son will be 16 here in a couple weeks. I know you mentioned your daughter, and I know she's grown now. Did you have these conversations with her before this book came out? Did she know about all of your traumas ahead of time? Or did you just like, whop, hi, here's mom's story. Good luck dealing. How did you do that?
Yeah, I like that question. That's a very interesting question that I'll try to dance around. No. So yeah, my daughter is 27 years old, so she is older. And I'm going to start back a little bit just because when she was younger, I made all this art. I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see. Some of my art back there is a little more risque than others. And so at some point in her teenage years, I realized that I had all this crazy art hanging around the house that maybe I shouldn't let my daughter see. I don't even know. So she kind of knew, I think at a young age, that I was a little weird. So yeah, when I, initially wrote the book, I didn't really say anything at first. I was just like, hey, I wrote this. But then when I went to publish it, at one point I did reach out to not only my daughter, but, my mom and just different other relatives. And I was like, hey, I'm putting this book out that is some really heavy subject matter, and I would prefer you not look at it. Like, don't read it, which that's probably wrong. But I said that, and then I was like, but if you do read it, don't be afraid to talk to me. You guys don't tell on me, but I think I told my mother some of it was exaggerated. That's like the biggest lie I've ever told. But yeah, I don't know if that was the right way to handle it. I did tell, some of my family, hey, I'm doing this, but ignore all of it. And then some of my family, like my sister down here, I was like, please come, I'm scared. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah.
All right. Great question. Do we have any more? All right.
It's kind of a two-part question. When did you move to Indianapolis? And secondly, you mentioned, you wrote this kind of in a different style, but I've never heard any of your other poetry, and I was kind of curious about what's your other style? What is this other style you're referring to? And kind of a third question, you are a fucking actress. Like, you came with a whole vibe, like, as you performed it, and you can tell as you evolved through the different stories, different parts of your character that evolved, or even like transitions of age that you could tell you were portraying.
Thank you so much.
Based on what scene, and I just like pursue that too. Like, you're multi-talented.
Thank you. Let's see. So if I can say all those in order. So I moved to Indianapolis in 2002 first. What was the second question?
Your style.
My style. I'm so sorry. Okay, so my normal style is just like, it's really rhyming, really versy and rhyming. And I kind of like would have little dreams of being a songwriter. I mean, not like huge, just not my passion like photography. But so I do write my stuff like a little like it would be song lyrics, like it could be put into a song. And then, I don't know if I'm embarrassed to say this, it is what it is, but my style was like writing a lot about if I had a crush on somebody and I wanted to get it out, I'm too scared to talk to the boys, so I'll just write about my longing or whatever. Or some of my poems are about if, not to put it out there, but if I was so depressed and I wanted to die, like I would write stuff about being just really depressed, so that way, write it down instead of doing something harmful to myself. But it all is pretty rhyming, and it's a lot of my work, my other work. There's some more books back there, and is on my website is melodieyvonne.com, and if you go to like the poetry section, the photography is predominant, but you can find a lot of my other work. But this is probably, I don't know if you'll be disappointed in my other stuff, because I like this better. And then as far as like my acting abilities, I really appreciate that, and I am going to give some credit to Devon over there, because like I watched him perform, and when I first started trying to go to open mics, the very first one I ever went to, was in Bloomington, and I cried through the whole reading. And not just like a little tearing up. Like, I was so nervous, and I was like, how am I reading? I cried. And then the second one, I found out that Devon hosted in Indianapolis, and he created an environment that was just ridiculously accepting. Like, I honestly, my work could be terrible, but everybody was so accepting and like clapping there that like you don't know if your stuff's bad or good because like we were like, yay. But you know, I watched Devon, and he's like a master. He doesn't just, you know, write spoken word or poetry. He performs. He strikes that nerve, and I'm like, man, I want to be like that guy when I do my stuff. So, yeah. So yeah, like that's helped me, and yeah.
Excellent questions. Anybody else have anything? Yeah.
Hey, Melody.
Hey.
Hey. So my question is, so once I want to say, yeah, hearing you read the poems is different than me reading them, honestly. Like, your voice and the characters come up, and you put your, like, you really, like, I went there with you in those scenes. And my question is, some of these people that were with you and around you in these times, like, do you, after writing this book and being the person you are today, are you still in contact with some of them? How has that been? Like, what's the journey? Are they seeing your stuff? Are they, you know what I mean? I'm just really curious about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I held on to, I held on to as many people as I could. Travis, yay Travis. So Travis is incredibly humble. He didn't, you know, he's not going to tell you how great he is, but some of the stuff, he was there with me. He lived through some of this horrible stuff just like I did. But unfortunately, a lot of our friends have passed away from ODing. Some of them are still addicted. A couple, in prison or dead. But I held on to as many people as I could. And unfortunately, when you want to stop doing drugs, you have to stop talking to everybody that does them, because as much as you want to hold on to those friends, you just can't, because they're going to give you more drugs. Like, they just are, you know. So, yeah.
Good, thank you.
Hi, I'm Desmond.
Hi.
I don't have a question. It's just more of me saying thank you. I am in one of the darkest moments in my life right now. And all of you, are extremely helpful to me right now.
Oh, thank you so much. Don't be afraid to reach out if you want to talk more, you know.
Yeah. I'm not at a point where I'm comfortable with talking just yet.
I understand.
But hearing, you know, everyone's experiences and just being here with all this positive energy is really uplifting. And I want to thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. You are very strong, and it is definitely going to be okay. There's so many people in here that helped me, and yeah, it's really powerful. Every single person that I asked to be here, whether it be people that I was like, come to my event because I want you here, or whether it was people that have partnered with me, I reached out for specific reasons, and it was largely because not just inspirations, but everybody in here has taken a part in making me better somehow, making me be able to accept myself and try to accept myself sober, which is really hard because I'd like some tequila right now.
Well, Melodie, obviously, you being honest and vulnerable, if it was for nothing else, it was worth that tonight, right? And everybody else here, so thank you so much. So let's do a last call for questions. Melody has a video that she wants to show us. Anybody else have anything you want to ask? All right.
I don't have a question. I just want to reflect off of something you said. You said when you are on drugs and you release that from yourself, you lose a lot of people. And I just want to say that it's not just drugs. Whenever someone is releasing or moving past anywhere in their life, you're always going to look up and realize that, you know, people around you may fall off, whatever. And it's about knowing your intention behind it and holding on to the people that really matter. You know what I mean? So it's not just drugs. It's life. It's elevation in general. You know. So.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, folks, so much for asking these questions. Thank you very much. Melody, the floor is yours.
Okay, yeah. So thank you guys so much. I do have a little video I want to play for you guys to kind of play us out. This is a wonderful song I recently heard by Wayne Pennington, and I really feel like it just hit me in my soul. I felt everything about it, and I felt like it fit tonight so well. So I'm going to take you out here with this video. So thank you, guys.
This world never seems to stabilize. You watch TV, read the news, know it's all mental abuse. It's no wonder you can't stabilize. All we've covered up and mockingbird, car alarm is enough to do your mental harm. And this world never seems to stabilize. You watch TV, read the news, know it's all